Thank you very much once again. Let me welcome you back to this one aristocratic channel of ours. And this is MATRIC+NATED Specialist. Ensure that you are hitting the subscription button and ensure that you are sharing to those who are concerned. And this is very a critical time and the time of examinations. I know you are at home, but I'm saying that be here in there and ensure that you are learning. Good luck in your examinations. This is Geography Grade 12 Term 4 Paper 1. Refer to our previous module and ensure that you are hanging on there. And then without wasting time, here we are going to anticipate now in question 2, whereby we are looking now at the different questions which can arise on our question paper. In 2.1, we are saying that the following statements are related to the physical geography and indicate whether the following statement are true or false, right? Only true or false next to the question number. In 2.1.1, we are saying the Misfit River is the river that loses water after river capture or river privacy has piracy have occurred. So we are saying the statement is true because of now the stream piracy is a continuation now of the indication, or it is a process whereby now the river undercuts underground. That is true. In 2.1.2, a waterfall may develop at an elbow of the capture after a capture or privacy, a piracy have occurred. We are saying the statement is true. We will see when we are doing now the structure of the stream piracy. And then in 2.1.3, we are saying indicate parallel, indicate in between a parallel line homoclinical ridges, a trellis drainage pattern is most likely to develop. That is true. Why we are saying that? Because of there is an a parallel line, and there is a what? There is a homoclinical ridges on what? On a trellis drainage pattern. Remember that we are having a variety of them. You need to refer back to them and you need to study them thoroughly. We are saying in 2.1.4, the tributaries of the mainstream in the dendritic, where in the dendritic, which is a what? Which is a which is a what? A pattern again. Drainage pattern are all short. That is false. Some of them they are long. They are long, and not some of them they are long. They are not short. 2.1.5, a watershed separates the drainage basin. That is true. The drainage basin is separated by the watershed is separated by the drainage basin. Okay. And then if ever we are moving on again here, we are seeing that we are having a structure whereby we are going to talk of a two concept of the resistant rock and non-resistant rock. We are saying that resist erosion. Erosion cannot take place, and non-resistant take now place easier. They are non-resistant to erosion. So typically we are giving is a resistant and non-resistant. How can we see in this figure 2.1? We can see based on this one that I've written one here. That is what that is a resistant rock because of the dotted lines which I have marked one here. And then the non-resistance, this is one. It is very clear. There is nothing inside. And then I have did these circles here trying to provide the resistance. And then what we must understand, we've got now X, Y, and Z, which they can be the labelings, the Q and the P that is taking a place here. And then in 2.2, the northeast of Port Elizabeth, one finds the settlement of the same one that is surrounded by a landscape similar to the one illustrated in the figure 2.1 below, which you can see there. All right. And then if ever we are moving on, we are having now a what? A question pertaining to this. It says in 2.1.1, is the landscape illustrated in figure 2.1 associated with the inclined or the horizontal strata? That is 1 mark. And then in 2.2.2, identify the landform Y. Okay, so we are saying that is this horizontal or is this an inclined strata? That is an inclined. Why are we seeing this? Because we can see that it's moving in. And then they want now to say identify the landform in Y. Where is Y? This is Y that is written. Number 2, we want now the landform in 2.1.1. And then n.2. All right. And we are having some answers. And then in 2.1.1, This is an inclined strata, that is 1 mark. And then in 2.2.2, that is a homoclinical ridge. This is now where the water it would flow. That is a homoclinical ridge. You get your marks that we are having. Some other question here in 2.3.2, identify slopes P, this is P, and Q associated with landform Y. Okay, we want P and Q associated with Y. Where's P and Q? This is P and Q, showing that there would be an inclined movement here in this area. This is P and this is Q. This one, the water would move downward because of the slope here. It would be moving downward, associated now with this letter Y. This is given. Okay, check the movement now of the water. This one it would go up, but this one it would go down due to those particular things. All right. And then here, if ever we are moving on again, we can see that as now these particular questions. All right. And then we are seeing in 2.2.3, P is a deep slope because of the movement now of the water. And then the Q, it is the scarp slope. Then you get now your 2 marks. There, your 4 marks, and then you get your 4 marks fully there. All right. And then if ever we are moving on again, we can see that we are having some other question, and it says explain how the underlying rock structure resulted in the development of the landform Y. Y is the underlying rocks. We need to understand the concept of what? Of the underlying rocks. Underlying rocks, these are the rocks that they are down. These are the underlying rocks. It means these underlying rocks. Why now? This is the question which we need to understand. They resulted in the landform of Y. Remember, we need to go where this is a landform of Y. This is the landform of Y. This is the region of Y. All right. And then we are saying that we need to go to the answer. All right. And then if ever we are moving on again, we can see that 2.2.4, we are saying that number 1, the inclined sedimentary rock, that is number 1, with hard and soft rock, which is exposed to the surface area. The soft rock is eroded, and the hard rock remains with the low ridge called the deep slope. And then that is the answers. And lastly, you can say that the steeper to have those particular answers, those answers as we are doing this revision. Please, the pieces, don't take long questions, break them down in pieces. And then if ever we are moving on, we are having some other question in 2.2.5, and it says this is which slope, P or Q? We are asked, is it P or Q is more suitable for the settlement? And then we need to give the reason for this answer. P or Q is suitable for the region. We need to go to P, and then we can see that P, the water will be moving up, and Q, it will be moving down. And then we are saying that the region now, the reason we need to have them. These are the particular answers. And then we are saying it is P. Why? Because of it's more gradual in terms of the steep movement. In terms of the movement, it is gradual. It means it is going up, and then there would be no loss. There would be fertility in terms of the soil capacity. In 2.2.6, it says explain is more suitable for agricultural activities. Why for agricultural activities? In 2.2.6, why is it suitable for farm? Because of the availability of water. We are saying that in 2.2.6, we are saying the vineyards and agriculture on the gentle slope, that is where they develop, and then process, and the steep slopes of the forest, which will lead to the water moving to areas which must be identified for these crops to grow. This is what we need to understand. And those are the typical concepts that we need to understand. One of the key concepts that you must vision and the question papers and then if ever we are moving on again, here we are in 2.3, the process of the river capture or the river strip piracy, we are saying that in 2.2, the piracy. Remember that here, it is that it is after it has occurred. One of the key concepts that you need to understand it is to give the labelings of this density of see that it is into cross section. All right, and then we are having A, B, D, and E, and then we are saying here we are having A, which is the captive, and the B, which is the captor river, and then here is A. I hope you can see this is the captive A, and then B here, the flow river, and then we are saying here number D, that is a mischief or an elbow. We need to understand these concepts, and then for us to have them A, B, D, and E. All right, for us to say that is the captive or the capture river or the pirated stream. That is A. Number B, it is the capture river or the pirate stream. Number E, that is a misfit river. All right, okay. And then we are saying this. Let us see once again here the question. Number A, that is a captive where the river would replicate its water moving through the channels. And the number B, it is the flow. Here you can see the elbow of the river. This is number E, the elbow of the river. And then E, the misfit of the river. So we are saying it's misfitting a process is happening. If ever we are moving on, we are having the question, explain the process of the river capture or the privacy with the reference in the figure 2.2. So it means we need to understand, we need to state what has happened before the river capture is occurred and what has happened after. So we want that process of what has happened, what has transpired for that to take place. Okay, and then we need to understand that what happened is that the energetic first stream order in the mountain, and number two, this may be caused due to the weaker rock, the weather erosion in soft rock layers, or the more water into the river. And then number three, we are saying that the head wash erosion, it cuts through the watershed. And then number four, the streams are lengthened and catching hold of the older river to the higher slope. Then you are having now your marks. So we are saying that what is happening here? We are saying that if we can see now here, before the river captures occurred, the stream orders in terms of the channel, they are narrower and they are small. But after it has happened, the erosion has taken place and the more river will be full because of the what? The more tributaries they will develop. Therefore, after the river capture has occurred, we are saying that the density or the volume of the water capacity into it flows more because of the what? The capture has occurred in this region. That is what we need. And then if ever we are moving on, explain why flooding will occur more often in the river B after the river capture or the piracy has taken place. We want to know why B here at B, there will be more flood because of the what? There will be no water banks to store this, to store the water. And then they say in this question, would answer them, two of them, indicate how the river capture or piracy will change the ability of the river B to erode the landscape, the erosion. And then in 2.3.3 and 2.3.4. So we are saying that it has more water in it. It has increased its hydrological drainage. That is why there will be what? There would be flooding because of the what? Of the more water volume in it. And then in 2.3.4, it will raise more water in it or increase the volume in 2.3 now 0.4. Okay. And then if ever we are moving on again, we can see that we are having some other question, and it says now the surrounding of the Western Cape to the Northern Cape is are parallel lying Cape Fold Mountains. These mountains range develop a typical drainage pattern with their own unique microclimate. Refer to figure 1.1a on the following page, and then the drainage pattern in the Cape Fold Mountain. So let us go to the Cape Fold of this mountain. All right. And then we can see this is the Cape Fold Mountain. This is it. And then you can see that here we are having the permeable and impermeable in terms of this. It says number A, identify the drainage pattern illustrated there and give the reasons for the answer. That is number B. We want the drainage pattern that is illustrated and the reason now for the answer. All right. And then we can see that see now this question and then the answers, we must go to them. So we are saying that it is the trellis. Why we are saying that? Because of the parallel streams with the short tributaries. They what? Parallel streams with the short tributaries. All right. We are having the other question. It says here, explain why the drainage pattern is characterized or characteristics of the Cape Fold Mountain. Explain. We want now this characteristic, and then we can see that we can write it. Why we are saying that number C, it is formed in sedimentary rocks with a band of resistant and weak rocks, that is 2 marks. And then the main river forms in valley, the short tributaries in the mountains. You are having your marks there. And then if ever we are moving on again to the questions. And number D, they say excluding a trellis and a dendritic pattern, name any other pattern that we have studied. Okay, and then we need to ensure that we are giving it the dendritic, and then we are saying that explain with a high runoff and a low infiltration will occur if the illustrated landscape. Why there will be a high runoff and a low infiltration. Remember those two concepts. They may and then we need to understand. We have studied apart from the two, the rectangular pattern, the angular pattern, the deranged pattern, the radial pattern, the barbat, and etc. So you need to give one, you have your 2 marks. And then we are saying why there will be a high impermeable rock. It means the water cannot be at the surface and it does not allow water to infiltrate when the water is not absorbed by the soil and it runs to cause the flooding. That is there. And lastly, we are having a question that can be asked in the examination. And then please study this thoroughly. F, name and describe any other factors that will result in high runoff and low infiltration. What can cause a high runoff and less infiltration? Remember, you need to name, you need to understand what can cause that. It can be caused by the sparse vegetation. Infiltration does not take place. If ever there's no vegetation, it can be caused by the steep slopes or the gradient is too high, and therefore, which will promote the water would run down too fast to allow for infiltration. And then we have saturated soils. We are saying that water cannot infiltrate well in wet soil. And then we are having the answer. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for listening and tuning on this module at MATRIC+NATED Specialist. Thank you very much.